new documenting journey. I'm here in Bali. Welcome back. So on this channel, I document my journey, building my brand, Exchange Life. We sell custom merchandise, and in the last 30 days, we did 98,000 euros in sales, which is 35% up from the previous days before. The goal is to get to 10 million a year. That's what I document here, from 0 to 10 million. I started at 0, documenting this shit. In the first part of this video, I will talk about everything that's going on with the brand. And in the second part, it's everything outside of the brand. So let's get right into it. Why are we still going up? I'm not sure. I don't know if it's the demand. Oh, I'm drinking a little glass of wine here, by the way. It's Saturday night, but the video's got to get up. We're doing this here weekly now. So yeah, I don't know if it's the demand because, for example, Mother's Day right now, that just brings an automatic lift in conversion rate because people are looking for gifts, or that it's because I'm improving other things, ads, landing pages, offer, and all of this. You never really know why, right? So let's hope it stays on an uptrend. I'm introducing new products, I'm introducing new designs, I'm introducing new ads, landing pages, offers. So I hope that is the reason, and not just because it's Mother's Day and there will always be a lift right now in conversion rate. But yeah, you never really know why, so it's hard to say, right? But I like to think it's my skills and not an external factor. But yeah, who knows? Recently here, I've been hanging out with some cool people. One of them, which I met randomly, is Aaron from Breeze. You might have known him. He's on Twitter a lot. He shares building his brand. Breeze, trying to convince him to get on YouTube as well. He's really passionate about his brand. And it's one point that I wanted to share with you guys because I noticed that he is so passionate about it. Extremely convinced, extremely into it, extremely, you know, everything, just extreme. He is an extreme, which is why he will be extremely successful with his brand. The goals that he has set with his brand is really big. And I think he can do it because he's such an extreme in there. And I realized that for me, my vehicle right now, my brand Exchange Life, is definitely not that. Like, I could never compete in terms of like levels of e-commerce with my brand versus guys like that are extremes in their own lane. But again, that's fine because, you know, I'm documenting it here. It's a vehicle for me to learn and to document and all of that shit. I can still get it to 10 million a year in my beliefs, which is big, but it's nothing major, right? It's not big. And that's another point that I wrote down, which is that the game of business is so much bigger. Like D2C, what we're doing here, building brands, e-commerce, is like such a bubble, something we were talking about. You meet some people here that are investors in this and that are doing this, and like angel investors, and that's a whole different game of business. And you kind of realize like, all of us e-commerce guys are really like living in a bubble, and the numbers can get quite big, but still, like if you then talk to someone like that, that's talking about like 100 million, billion-dollar businesses and investing in them and like insane returns on investment, and there's a whole nother level of business, and kind of makes me realize that, you know, to think bigger and realize there's so much more out there and ways you can go and things you can do. For me, it's, I think, a really good business model right now because I love it. I'm building a cool brand and all of this shit, but there's something, you know, that I realized here talking to some other kinds of business people, investors, and like also learning a lot from those kinds of people, you know, because they have different frameworks, they think differently, they think different about business and all of that stuff. So that's interesting. Our in-house ads are getting better and better. I've recently hired someone that is going to hopefully make them better as well. The part that I struggled with creating the ads in-house was that sometimes, you know, I didn't really come up with new ideas and this and that, but then still the top performance that we have were still ideas I came up with or our in-house team. But we don't have someone dedicated to coming up with ideas. That's just me. So what I thought about was, hey, what if I hire a copywriter that can think about ideas, include the fitting copy that we need to use for that, or script, and then we can go out and create that. Me, my editor, graphic designer, we can go out and actually create the ad, but he can come up with angles, like what more can we sell the same necklace for? Can we solve a problem? Can we do this? Blah, blah, blah. And then I think with an in-house editor and graphic designer and me also being in there sharing ideas, we can come up with quite some cool shit, and we're still outperforming the creative agency in terms of ads that spend and are profitable. So none of those ads that the creative agency is producing is taking over the spend profitably of my own ads yet. So that's interesting to see as well. And then learning to really confirm that, hey, I'm also quite good at doing this thing. So that's cool to see. I want to drop next week, maybe somewhere when I finish it, like a creative crash course, like how I make winning creative, something like this. I'm kind of toying with this idea of creating like a free course or something that I will just drop in a playlist on YouTube on my channel. Like all of the things that I learned that I can create a full topic video about to like share value. Like drop them in like a separate playlist that's not documenting the journey. A dedicated video to creatives, a dedicated video to how I structure my ads, for example. So you guys can also get like information that you can apply more so than me ranting every week. But yeah, something I'm thinking about and probably will drop maybe in a week or two. So keep an eye out for that. Sometimes the shittiest ads work is what I wrote down. Don't get too attached to the ads. Like I create creative sometimes that I just don't expect to work at all, and then they work. Like they might be very ugly or just an image with like big text. That might work better than like a whole story ad that you created that you hope works because you like the ad. You have like a bias for it. But don't get too attached to the ad and quickly cycle through it. I was sitting down with a friend this week and I was showing how many ads we test. I think we test up to maybe 30 a week. Bam, bam, bam. You need to keep testing ads. You don't need to get attached to them. New concepts, iterations, new ideas, competitors, inspired ads, like everything. You just need to keep testing. I'm still not able to scale the testing ad sets though. So I told you guys before that now I have a testing structure in Facebook where we use ABOs to test new concepts. I think if they perform well a certain concept, we can also scale the individual ad sets in there to get more spent and to be profitable. But still, when I scale them, they are not really doing well. But I think, again, it's a creative problem. And if we really have a new winning concept in an ad set, we could scale it there as well. And then get additional scale, because if you would duplicate it into the scaling campaign, it doesn't instantly get spent there. It takes a while before it gets picked up. So in the meanwhile, you can scale the testing ad set. So that's kind of the idea there. I'm not scaling in a little while in general though. I'm kind of leaving my spend to be the same. And I see that my net profit goes up. And I think it's because I'm not constantly fucking with the learning phase. I met some guys in Cape Town that were like bumping budgets during the day, and I thought, oh, let me do it too. If I have a good day yesterday, I'll skill today. But then if I have a bad day tomorrow, then I'll skill back down in the day after. That's why you saw such a big like this. And now I'm just leaving it. I'm leaving it, and then if it performs over target, then I scale. If it doesn't, then I leave it. If I feel like when I scale down, the ROAS will go up, I'll scale down and see if the net profit at the end of the day is higher. So I'm really optimizing for net profit. I don't really care how much fucking sales I do, right? So I need to find that sweet spot. And now I'm slowly scaling. Leave it 3-4 days, see if it does well. If it does, scale. If it doesn't, leave it or scale back down and see if your net profit goes up. Interesting learning here, really going back to like slowly but surely instead of like daily fucking with the budget. Google is performing quite shitty. So I don't know why, fucking scaled back a lot there. Just spending a few tens of euros a day, like basically nothing. Just getting a few sales there. It just is what it is. I don't really care where the sales come from. I think Google though will perform better when we have our new website, when the offer is more clear, when the market seems to be wider on the front end, so on the side, more people can relate with it. I think it's just too niche for Google right now. But we'll see when the new site is live, which we're working on. There was some delay. Nothing changed a while for the site on the changes that we needed to make, but now we're finally implementing all the last changes and comments, and I think we're ready for development in about a week, which is great because I'm again really excited for the new site to be live, and I will then go into it there and make a loom about it, why I chose to go this route with the site. I'm getting quite some affiliate sales. I told you guys before that we have a community for the brand, and we're doing some new recruiting for ambassadors for the community that help us create story content and other kinds of content, and they all also get a link for themselves and their followers to share, you know what affiliate is, right? So interesting to see there that the community is still really focused on exchange students, exchange life community, while the brand is more broad now. But we are keeping the community just for exchange students because a community doesn't work if it's not very niche, because then people don't relate with each other. But it's kind of on the side. It's two separate things. But a lot of the ambassadors, the people that help us with content, are still exchange students, and the affiliate sales are really working well. I got like 20 affiliate sales in the past few days from one affiliate that posted some TikToks with it. Not even that product focused. It was just very natural, and he put the link in his bio, and then he's making general exchange student TikToks. It's also how we're tracking the community sales by having an affiliate link in the community bio. So that's interesting to see. I hope that I can probably scale this a bit further, this affiliate sales, because we work with many ambassadors, and if we create a good system on how we can like have them post content for us and like give them new ideas to post, and then I think we can probably scale this affiliate side a bit. I found a good person for renders. So if you go to the site now and look at the main product images, those are renders. I found a good person for that. And then I also found someone to help me with the product photography, what I was telling you guys about last week. I want some really branded, cool product shots, especially on the new website, that it's all branded and makes sense together. So I'm really excited for that. This girl has worked with a cool brand that I've been looking at for a while. So yeah, I think she's gonna do great. The vibe is really clear, and I'm really excited for those new product photos to be live on the website. I hope they work with conversion rate and help with all of that shit as well. So let's see how that will do. That's really it about the brand this week. I hired someone for the videos for these Duck the Journey videos that is helping me with the intros and is helping me with some other things. So I want to post them consistently every week and improve them. I might do some cutting in this one as well to make it a bit more faster paced so that I'm not staring into the abyss for half of the fucking brand update. But I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. It seems like it. The comments have been good. The feedback has been good. I've been getting messages. Please keep sharing your comments. Please keep sharing what the fuck's going on with your business and your life. And I hope you guys learn something from this. And yeah, let's get into the Q&A. Every month I do a Q&A. I kind of thought that, this way I can really involve you guys into it. And when we grow, still keep it very personal, because I'll do every month a section where I answer whatever you want to know. Follow me on Instagram. That's where you can share your questions or ask your questions. Let's get into the monthly Q&A sections. Is it worth to create a brand with a partner? I think if you can find a partner that is a very good complementary to you, so has complementary skills to you, then it can be worth it. But this is very hard, and I think in the beginning you might be a very bad judge of that. Like, you don't really know if someone has the same skills as you because you don't really know what you are or what you can do. So I think in general, for most people, it's good to start out by themselves and just figure shit out until they know what they're good at. And then if they want to start a new project, then you can judge better on if someone would be a good partner or not. So hopefully that makes sense, because I have many friends that have started brands with their friends. Some of them are happy about it, but also some others are like, I don't know if this was really worth it in the end. I don't know if I could just hire it for this instead of having to give up a certain percentage for, a partnership that might not be as valuable as you think in the start. If someone is not really a value add or unlocks a lever you couldn't have done by yourself, then yes, it's worth it. Otherwise, it's not. For example, you can have a very good operational guy in an e-com brand that knows how to run Shopify, that knows how to run all of the fulfillment and all of the back end of things. And then you have a very creative guy that's also a bit analytical that can do all of the creatives. He just has to worry about the marketing of the product. This is a very good combination. If you know this is the case, then you can scale way quicker than you would be able to do alone. So then it's worth it giving up a percentage, because you do something that you couldn't have done alone. But otherwise, if it's not like really connected to each other, it might just be a waste of, giving up a lot for not a lot in return, where you could have just hired someone for. So that is my opinion. I think you should start out alone in the beginning, because you cannot really judge who a good partner will be and if they're complementary or not. If you are a bit further and you can make this judgment, or you know exactly what you need to unlock the next lever, and you couldn't have done that by yourself, for example, then it's worth it to get a partner. Do I have any paid community that you can join? Not currently. I also haven't figured out yet how I will do this. Again, one of the things that I will do, the first thing that I will do off the back of this content, is create some sort of community. I don't know if this will be paid, like 10 euros a month. I don't know if this will be free. I haven't put enough thought into it, why I should do one or the other, or what even is the best thing to do for me. So yeah, not yet, but keep an eye on my videos and keep following along, and then you'll figure it out. I'll probably announce at some point there's some community you can join, so then we can talk to each other and the viewers can meet each other. I think that's something cool. That's something that I always wanted to have, and I'm still trying to figure out if it should be only e-commerce focused, or if it should be like building a business from 0 to 1, or if it's just like young people trying to build their own thing. I'm not sure yet. So if you have any ideas, please drop them in the comments. I really appreciate all of your feedback, and I will take it into consideration. Which is better, as an online business owner living in Europe or living in Bali? This is like a big debate everyone always has, right? Can I travel and build a business? I've talked about this in the previous Q&A as well. I think you can. I have some friends that are building businesses, big businesses that do as well. So I think on different scales you can do it. It's just how you do it, and do you set up yourself to also be productive? Are you distracted very easily? Because if you're distracted very easily, then of course a place like Bali isn't gonna be the best place to be. Because a place like Bali, there is basically infinite distractions. So if you cannot really handle that, then it might not be so smart to go to Bali, but you could still go to, for example, a place that is maybe a bit more chill or low pace, or where you can also meet people that might be a bit more low pace. But yeah, for me, I like to be in different places. I don't prefer either Bali or Europe, or Bali or Spain or whatever. For me, I really like to travel to places with people. But the place, I don't really give a shit about. We were talking about this today with my friends. We can go to somewhere in fucking Eastern Europe, or to somewhere in South America, or somewhere in Asia, or it doesn't matter, as long as the people that you are with are your community, right? You align and you can do fun shit and you can do some work and all of that. That's way more important than the place. So that's what I'm doing right now. I just go to places wherever I'm going with people. So then now I ended up in Bali because we didn't really have a better option. We were like, where to go this time of year? There's not really a better option than Bali, so let's go to Bali. So then we ended up here. If we would have gone somewhere else, that would have been fine too. Like, it's not like I want to go to Bali. It's just that here I was with people that I care about and I think are like my community, so then I go here. It's like as easy as that. And for me, I think it's very beneficial. I think it gives you a lot of pluses that you don't get while sitting in an office every day in routine in, for example, the Netherlands where I'm from. You just miss out on a lot of inputs, you miss out on a lot of inspiration, you miss out on a lot of good ideas. Yeah, I think the upsides of traveling while building a business are just bigger than the 20% extra productivity if you're in an office all day. Like one idea, because we're in a leveraged business, can make a big difference, right? And you get those ideas by inputs from friends with different businesses, similar industries, different industries. All of those you can implement yourself. So I think, yeah, the upsides of traveling also in terms of life experience, meeting new people, seeing different cultures, learning about what you like and what you don't like, is just, it outweighs a lot of the little bit of productivity loss that comes with traveling. You can still be productive. Like, we are in the villa most days, just working. We go out sometimes or go to the gym and, we're still productive. It's not like we're not doing shit. We're still working like a good 6 hours a day, at least. So I think you can do it. I think it's like even beneficial. Next question. Do you already have ideas for your next brand? I do have some ideas, but right now, even though I know the vehicle I'm in is limited, my brand is very niche. It doesn't really solve a problem. The returning customer rate is pretty low. The LTV isn't pretty high. There is no subscription. Just economically, the brand isn't the best brand to have. I know that. But I'm learning a lot. I'm progressing every day. There is so much left to improve. There's so much skill left that I can capture. I don't think I'm at the limit yet of this vehicle that I'm in, even though it is a relatively small vehicle if you compare it to setting up a brand with subscription, very high LTV and all of this shit. I'm still learning every day. So right now I'm still just worried about this brand and the videos. So the brand is also a vehicle for me to share on my channel, right? I'm going from zero to one publicly, building up my skills. I'm taking you guys with me on my journey. So it's just also a way for me to share what I'm doing and what I'm learning. And everything that I'm doing and I'm learning, I can then, someone said it in a good way. I was hanging out with some guys that I met here in Bali, where it's like I'm building up momentum with documenting my journey, the documenting of my brand, which might not be the best vehicle, to then learn skills, build up momentum on my YouTube, and then I can really launch something big next. When I feel like I'm at a ceiling with my brand, I'm not learning something new anymore, it's boring, I can move on and use the momentum of these videos that I've built up, going from 0 to 1, and really use all of that to launch something big in a year to 3 years. So that's kind of my thoughts there. And yes, I have some ideas, but I'm not worried about that yet. I'm worried about scaling my brand. I told you guys, my goal is to get to 10 million a year with the brand. I think this is doable without too many diminishing returns. If I notice it is, then I'll probably go to 5. But yeah, until I'm there, I'm not worried about another brand or this or that. I am helping my mom set up a brand for herself. So that is kind of something that I'm doing on the side, but I'm not too worried about this. And this is not taking away any focus. So that is kind of my thoughts there. So someone asked, is it worth it to spend 3K a month to move to Milan alone at 22? I don't know. That depends on you. I chose to move to Bali. Probably it costed similar or even more. About 2 years ago, you can go back. That's when I started documenting my journey without making any money yet. I had about 5,000 euros in savings and I went to Bali. Why I chose Bali was because I thought that there would be most people that could teach me something or that I could relate to in the smallest place that I could find. That was also affordable. So I kind of thought about where can I go that has most people that I think I can learn from and relate with. And then I came up with the idea of Bali. I followed this guy called Matt from Space Goods on YouTube, and in one of his podcasts he said you should go to Bali if you want to meet people. So then it was kind of a confirmation, I should go there, and then basically I straight up booked my ticket and I went to Bali a few months after. But I went with 5K, about 5,000 euros in savings. It's probably even less than you have now, but I was really determined to figure it out, and it was really stressful, but I managed. And this is why I chose Bali. You need to consider for yourself which place it is you need to go to get to the next level for yourself. I don't know what you're doing, but maybe, and this is kind of a stereotype, if you are into fashion and you want to build a fashion brand, Milan would be a good place. But I don't know if Milan is a good place if you want to meet online entrepreneurs or people building a brand in general. Then you might consider Bali. Figure out what it is you're trying to do and who it is you're trying to meet, and then the best location that fits with that. So in my opinion, if you want to meet people like me, if I'm in any way someone you would like to meet, or if it's people that are building an online business, building a brand, this and that. You can go to Bali, you can go to Dubai, you can go to some places in Europe, but it's a bit less accessible. If you don't have any community yet, you can go to South Africa, but again, it's also a bit less accessible. If you don't have any friends yet, and it's really good from January to March, so not really right now, like go to Bali. I feel like there is no place like Bali in terms of like meeting people and how accessible it is, and any co-working space you can meet good people. It's affordable if you're in the beginning of your journey. So yeah, it's kind of unmatched in those terms, but I don't know what you're trying to achieve. So figure this out and then choose a place depending on this. Someone asked, how was your experience in Georgetown, Kentucky? So I was an exchange student. That's where I started my brand, Exchange Life. That's why it's called Exchange Life. I lived in Kentucky for a year. It was actually only 8 months because I got sent home early because of COVID. You can go to the description and there you find like my story videos, like fully where I started and like how I got to this point. But yeah, it was great. It was a very interesting experience. I didn't expect anything going there. I mean, I was going to the middle of nowhere, Kentucky. I went there because I graduated high school 2 years early. So I didn't want to go to university at 16. I was like, I cannot even have a beer yet. Why the fuck go to uni? So I went instead to do another year of high school in the USA. I played football there for a little bit until they found out I was already graduated at home, and then they wouldn't let me play in games anymore. But I played 2 games and then I practiced, and yeah, I didn't really go there with any expectations, but it was a great experience. I mean, I was just there as a normal civilian, right? It felt a lot like I came into some kind of theater and I was just running around there invisible, but it was like real life and I came there as an outsider. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot of like things that made me grow up, maybe a bit faster, learn to be alone, learn to get comfortable in a new place by myself. Maybe that's why I wasn't scared coming to Bali alone. Like, it did a lot of good things for me, and I started my brand there. So it was really cool. I had a great experience. I archived my pictures of it before, but I left them back up because it kind of adds to the story on my Instagram, so you can scroll back. Yeah, it did a lot of good things for me. It made me progress a lot in a short amount of time that you otherwise wouldn't have had, I think, if you go straight from high school to university. I think it's good to do a gap year if you have a plan. Apartment looks sick. Where is it? Just an Airbnb. You go on Airbnb, you can find some sick places in Bali. And it doesn't have to be expensive. Like, this place is not expensive. Someone asked that as well. I think this place, what is it? Maybe like 4K a month. And if you split that between 3 bedrooms, you know, that's not that expensive. Of course, it's rent. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot, but like, it's doable. If you compare it, like, you would pay the same in any like apartment in big city, maybe even more. So just go on Airbnb. Any advice on how much to pay for content creation and how do you know it's the right person? I assume this is about ad creatives, like how to find UGC creators. So for me, it's a bit of a special case. Like, I built an organic community for my brand. You can look it up, Exchange Life Community on Instagram. It's a following. People care about it. People buy into it because that part of the brand is really for exchange students. Again, my brand is broader now, but I still have the community just for exchange students called Exchange Life Community. But Exchange Life, the brand, is now for people with 2 homes and long distance and travel vibes, right? Like, it's more than that. But I'm still leveraging my community for UGC creators. So we have TikTok girls, for example, that help out with creating content for the community, that also help out creating content for the ads. I leverage it this way. I would not pick a creator from fucking Twitter or something because for some reason they charge you hundreds of euros per clip, and this is just not worth it. I don't know, some course probably taught them this. This is worth it if they have proven to perform for you or your brand, and then you can increase their rates. But this isn't feasible if you want to test out different creators, which you have to do if you want to find winning creators for your brand. So in the beginning, probably about 40 to 60 euros per video, you can offer them and say, hey, this is what I'm offering to test out. It's worth it. If this works, we can increase your rate. If it doesn't, we don't lose too much money, but we have tried. This is also something they will do, and it's quite reasonable. So around this price, I think if you are here, that is a good place to be to try and test out. What advice would you give yourself in the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey? I've said this in multiple videos, but if you look around and you cannot compare yourself with anyone else, that is the indicator that you're on the right path. I don't know who said this. I saw it or heard it somewhere, but I just really resonated with it. And I think I would have benefited a lot from hearing that in the beginning of my journey, because you might doubt yourself when you just drop out of school, when you start a business and your friends are like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you selling shit? You drop out of school, your parents are like, what are you doing? Go back to school. You stop going to parties, your friends are like, why are you boring? All of these things, when you compare them to the people around you and they are not comparable, so they are questioning you, that is the #1 indicator you're on the right path. Because if you want a different different outcome than everyone around you, which is average, because on average people are average, makes sense, right? Then you need to have different actions and inputs, so they cannot be comparable. If they are, you're going for the same outcome, which I think is not what you want if you're watching these videos. So then it is good that they are not comparable. What quote inspires you and how does it shape your business mindset? I don't know if there's like any specific quote that inspires me. I get inspired a lot by videos of other people that document their journey or that share things raw. I've called them out in different videos already, so yeah, go back for those. I get inspired a lot by music, so I listen to a lot of different music that really drives me. Then I get inspired by, just listening to interviews and podcasts of different entrepreneurs and different people, and reading books from, for example, Naval, or listening to podcasts of him. That's all what inspires me and what shapes my train of thought and frames and ideas and why I'm doing this, for example. It's all because of inputs of different people, right? That I listen to online, that I surround myself with in real life. And also my friends really inspire me. They're just building cool businesses and doing cool shit, and it can be really different. Like one can build an e-commerce brand and someone else can be making videos, but all of these different people that are around me also inspire me to do better and to make good things, and we kind of motivate each other, and that's also something that is helping me out. And this was something that was always like my dream from the start. If you go to my first video, that's where I said like, hey, I'm going to Bali because I want to meet people, and that's really now, the reality. I documented it all, so make sure to check out my videos if you want to see like the insights, how and why. But yeah, that also really inspires me. Those are the questions for this month's Q&A section. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, because that is where I will be asking these questions, like doing the pop-ups for next month. Please comment, share your feedback, like, subscribe, share with your friends, all of that shit. I'll see you guys next week.